Just a Little Question by Paul Barrett of Padstow 2211. Narrated by David Tredinnick. I turned 70 years old recently. I say recently, but it was 3 years ago. But one of the best lessons I have learnt from life so far is that the years are only relevant as a means of timekeeping. The reality of age is how you feel and how you translate your feelings to those around you. Personally, I've found sharing a sense of humour with those around me to be a most important life lesson, and I confess that those who know me well jokingly describe my sense of humour as being a little warped. In my early life, I used to get asked whether I was a half-glass full or half-glass empty type of person, meaning whether I was an optimist or a pessimist. I always jokingly replied, "I'm a half-glass full person, but I confess it is because I drank the other half of the glass." When Keith Richards, guitarist with the Rolling Stones, celebrated his 70th birthday, a reporter asked him how he felt about it. Keith, who had a bit of a reputation for dark humour, replied that had he known he was going to live to that age, he would have taken better care of himself. Incidentally, if Keith continues to survive the sins of his past, he will celebrate his 80th birthday this December. At the time, the Rolling Stones singer, Mick Jagger, was also asked what it was like touring with a band of over 70 aged musicians. He replied that it was essentially no different to when they started out, except that the road crew now had to help get their drummer onto the stage and stop their guitarist, Keith Richards, from falling off it. I mention the Rolling Stones because I have noted over the years that musicians, entertainers, writers, and people engaged in the arts generally age well when compared with other occupational groups. This is because they enjoy what they are doing and bask in the enjoyment their output brings to others. Most people in artistic occupations do not identify what they do as work. This group of people tend to be extremely focused on their goals, and they often share the common element of humour and a general motivation towards making time count. Of course, some take better care of their health compared with others, but they equally follow their chosen path without fear or hesitation. An Australian pop icon, Daryl Cotton, who was lead singer in the successful band Zoot before going on to perform as a solo star, died in 2012 at the relatively early age of 62 years. His good humour in life shone through in his funeral arrangements. The funeral notice advised people attending that no tickets or bookings were required, and he requested a white coffin so that his family and friends could autograph it and write whatever messages they wished. On the end of the coffin, visible as it was carried into the service, was the wording, "This side up." Another legendary performer whose humour was so abundant in life that he turned it into a career as a comedian was Spike Milligan of the Goons. His success in show business exemplified his perseverance in his craft. His humour was often described as zany, and again was evident after his death when it was revealed that his last wish was that the headstone marking his grave at St Thomas's Church, East Sussex, include the words, "I told you I was ill." Church authorities initially did not approve of this, as it was deemed inappropriate, but after persistent intervention by family and friends, the diocese agreed that the sentence could appear if it were in Gaelic, which is as it appears to visitors these days. The entertainment industry is often called the school of hard knocks. Those in the industry often learn their craft the hard way by opening themselves up to criticism, by sharing the product of their souls, whether it be comedy, music, literature, or performance. Those who have successful careers will openly share the fact that their success is largely based on the feedback of their audiences. I have always personally held a similar attitude to life. People need to be open to others' input, observe reactions, and then follow their instincts with confidence, and I have found it a lesson well learnt. There is a quirky element to the evolutionary development of us humans in that we reach the heights of our physical development before we have reached the heights of our intellectual and personal development. And by the time we peak intellectually, our physical elements are on the decline. For those of us who believe in the existence of a supreme divinity, and that this supreme divinity is incapable of mistakes, can only conclude that not only does he or she have an enormous sense of humour, but that we are meant to learn life from life as we live it. From my earliest years, I have been an avid fan of history. My grandchildren often observe me tracing my family history or watching historical documentaries on TV, and they ask why I am so interested in stuff that is over. Gone and dusted, as they say. I always reply to them that with age you accept that to make mistakes is natural. However, to not learn from mistakes is to repeat the same mistakes over and over. Likewise with history, the advantage of age is knowing what went before and observing what works and what does not work. For every action taken, there is a reaction. Our goal in life is based on what we have learnt, to ensure to the best of our ability we take only those actions which deliver positive outcomes and achieve our aims and the well-being of humanity. The end.